This has been a labor of love because this little baby started with a very small stool, and it was just so high in a cube type fashion, but the essence of the idea came from the human bone. And like a lot of our products, it either comes from nature or it's connected to the human body, and there's a very natural feel about it. What's beautiful about this leather is that Riva's worked very hard to select the top leathers, Italian leathers. It's bullskin, it's very thick, it's very soft. We use American walnut as the frame, and for every one tree that's used, 5 trees are planted. So there's a great sustainability factor to it as well. Always be wood. If I had one material to say I would want to work with for the next 3 years, of course it would be wood. I mean, I'm a big fan of textile design as well. We're doing a lot of work with rope now, which is fun. But I'm a very tactile person, and I like to feel texture in everything we create. Hence this basket weave and the lovely tactile nature of this leather. To me, it almost feels like elephant skin, you know, but it's leather, so it's beautiful. Not only is working with wood just a labor of love, I've been working with wood since I was 6 years old. In fact, I remember my grandfather, he made a woodworking lathe out of an old washing machine motor, and I used to turn wine goblets for my mother and make these wooden wine goblets, and she still has them today. And I think it was really back then that I developed this love affair with wood, working with nature, just the feeling of it. It's so tactile, it's so malleable, and when you're finished, you have this whole new surprise where you're not just looking at the form and the function of that wine goblet, and you're getting an idea of which proportions work very well, but you're also getting the benefit of the wood grain. And the more it's polished and the more it's detailed and the more fine it is, the more you admire the wood grain itself. I actually enjoy the challenge, to be honest. The fact that people are asking for newness and freshness, it challenges us as designers to come out of the corner and come up with fresh ideas from small spaces, big ideas from small spaces. I like to say, and that teaches you to be innovative and look for new materials, look into the world of technology and textile design, and there are so many new techniques now and so many different combinations of materials, and I'm a huge fan of what I call mixed material, which is something man-made with something natural, and I think there can always be a very successful outcome when you balance those two. And about 15 years ago, I discovered my love affair with furniture. And I realized that by designing one chair, I could touch 1 million people. And not just with landscape, but very intimately through the shape of the chair and how that molds into the human body. And for me, that was very gratifying because I've got to think about the ergonomics, the size of the chair. I have these ratios that I use: 425 millimeters high, 680 millimeters deep, 480 millimeters high for the back support. And so these ratios are running around in my head like grandma's recipes. I think what became very tough to me in the area of landscape design is we would design these beautiful resort gardens and hotels, but in 5 or 10 years' time, it may not look the same. It's always the elements of the weather and those who maintain it, and so it's a very tangible yet intangible piece of design. Whereas when you design a piece of furniture like this, it stays exactly the way you intend it, and it might live forever. And there's something kind of nice about that as a designer.